We're also going to hear quickly from Kevin's partner, Tayunna.
Yep. It ain't going to be that quickly after all. Kaya, ngan Yamaji Nyunga, Wonga Nyunga. I'm Yamaji and Nyunga, speak in Nyunga and Monkacha. Ngan Tayana Mirundi, it means come back down by the waterside. Ngan grandfather, Augustine Patrick Rowe Nidja, John Septimus Rowe, co-grandson. My grandfather is the grandson of John Septimus Rowe. Ngan grandmother, Augustine Helena Talbot, Kaya Nyunga, thank you for having us here. Two others, Jinang Buja, look at the land. Nidja Nyunga Buja Nunak Ninich, this is Nyunga land you're standing in. To the curious and judgmental, I am Kevin's partner. I suffer chronic anxiety, panic attacks, depression, bipolar and post-traumatic stress disorder. I sometimes self-medicate. I have a criminal record and I am ostracised by my immediate family. Blackfellas often fear what they don't understand. To the academics, I attended Edith Cowan University. I have a degree, a bachelor degree in Indigenous Services with a minor in psychology, mostly to understand myself. During the course of my studies and from others, I endured criticisms and hurtful comments such as, oh, well, you're Aboriginal and the Aboriginal Education Unit, Gurrungurrgurrgun, helps you. The attainment of a university degree when English was my second language until the age of 8, I studied with a thesaurus I had to create myself. Why I had to create it myself was because I did not know how to spell the words to look at them up in the first place. I had to try and remember big words and the meanings whilst attempting to rid the myths that the extra support got me my degree when I wrote my assignments. Well, I did my entire degree externally. I did this because of my panic attacks. They prevented me from carrying out full-time studies on campus. I hid my illnesses and inadequacies. But my hard work, which was being invalidated by students and others with their own inadequacies, which around me they failed to hide. So rather than condemn them for it, I used my anger and frustrations to work harder on my assignments and exams. I finished my degree within the top 15% of Edith Cowan University. I am a lifelong member of the Golden Key International Honour Society, an elite sorority for high achievers at a university level. My sorority brothers and sisters include the former American Secretary of Defence, an astronaut, a Nobel Prize winner, and a former American president. I have friends from around the world, and I am known for my honesty, protectiveness, integrity, dark sense of humour, and making up my own words. Sometimes they're not equivalent in English, like modularisation. In recent weeks, I have sat by silently and watched as the courageous team at Channel 7, followed by other passionate, vibrant, determined and dedicated journalists, broke the news of the torture Kevin endured to the world. To name a few, thank you Jeff Parry, Daniel Emerson, Amanda Banks, Beatrice Thomas, Ronan O'Connell, Alana Buckley-Carr, Rick Arden, Susanna Carr and other news teams from around the world. I commend you for your intelligence, courage, sensitivity, compassion and commitment. Congratulations for playing the most significant role in exposing and placing focus on human rights issues that still exist in Australian society today. Now the world can see that Australia is not a free country after all. But you have proven it is... Sorry, that's the Jammu sign there. But you have proven it is an intolerable one. Thank you. Sorry, I've got to keep these flags on for equality. But you have proven it. Australia is an intolerable country in an era of powerful communication technology. I have watched the footage of the police as they mobbed, degraded and tortured my man. I feel guilty for not being there to protect, defend and support my man. I have to live with this guilt every day, and although extremely helpful, the constant publication of the taser torture endured by Kevin is a constant reminder that I was not there to help him. So I stand here today to relinquish some of that guilt. I have watched as the police exposed to the world my man's private life, saying it is in the public's interest. The police named and showed my man while meticulously protecting and hiding the identities of all perpetrators involved in the taser torture. I asked the police, is it not in the public's interest to also reveal details and media footage of other tortures he endured prior to and after the release of the taser torture footage that most have already seen? I have no faith in ever seeing that footage be released to the public. I don't even know how many they have. I have watched as they labelled my man a career criminal. I could not understand this terminology. So I got out my little dictionary and the damn page was missing. So I looked on a computer and found 4 definitions of career, because I know what a criminal is. In the Encarta World Dictionary, career means 1, a job or occupation as a long-term or lifelong activity. 2, somebody's progress in a chosen profession or during that person's working life. 3, the general path or progress taken by somebody or something. And finally 4, a rushing onward while lurching or swaying. I came to the conclusion that the word career implies a lifelong progress in which to advance upon a general path forward. Then I thought Kevin went to jail, was not given parole despite the jail term being his first time, and that is a great achievement for the then 38-year-old Indigenous man, had to pay his torturers $2,500 in criminal compensation, and he doesn't advance or progress in any way in relation to crime or interactions with police. It is the police who advanced in their careers with promotions and fines of lesser amounts than the criminal compensation Kevin was expected to pay. Through my yummagee eyes, I see the police as career criminals. So please do not use knowledge power to dub the underdogs of society names to which they cannot defend in attempts to justify and cover up the harsh treatment of offenders by the police. It is misleading and defamatory. Do you not understand your own language? In 1982, I was head girl of Blackmore Primary School against the odds. Geroween! Whilst in that position, I was just 11, turning 12 years of age, and I knew I was in a position of privilege and power. And even then I knew I needed to adopt ideologies consistent with adhering to school rules and providing a quality role model to other students. If I messed up or broke a school rule, I was promptly reminded by teachers who opposed my election, saying, "You're head girl, you should have known better." Well, after the world witnessed Kevin being, as Rick Arden so adequately put it, tortured into submission by police, there's all this talk about tribunals, fines, demotions and the likes as optional disciplinary measures for the police. So now I'm confused. Are they not the head boys and head girls of society? Why are they breaking the law in the first place? And who determines whether or not those crimes, not simple school rules, are dismissible causes. Because if this is the police commissioner's answer to ensuring torture does not happen again, then Mr. O'Callaghan needs to gracefully stand down along with all officers involved in the torture. Because the more powers you provide to the police, the higher the risk of maltreatment of Indigenous peoples and all other Australians. You would have to be extremely naive to think that the police are solely there for the protection of the people, as Chris Christopherson once said, when they are appearing at this time to be only protecting themselves. Additionally, they are dictating to the peoples of Australia what is and what isn't in the public's interest. I watched, I listened, and I remembered. I remember my beautiful Wajbala white man friend, Dr. Ron Downing, a former psychiatrist in Port Hedland. He had survived a triple bypass operation undertaken by Dr. Burton, the partner of Dr. Soden. He happily, healthily, and spoke softly about his problems of living a long and prosperous life, and unfortunately he was murdered 3 weeks before he was able to submit a report complaining about police and maltreatment and sexual harassment. I thank you for being here today. When people started verbally attacking the Shadow General, Mr. John Quigley, Attorney General, Shadow Attorney General, when he is guiding us by saying he's soft on crime, I say he's not soft on crime, he's just hard on justice. And as Albert Einstein said, beautiful people often encounter violent opposition from mediocre minds. And as Shania Twain says, to all the people here today, I'd rather die standing than live on my knees begging please no more. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tayunna. This is maybe who we should get to speak to Parliament, to get on the reference committees and to talk to all the appropriate bodies within the criminal justice system, see if that can make a difference.